Hello everyone, this is Hellbender47, and today I would like to bring up something called the top 5 bad games with good concepts. There are a lot of games out there that go from your traditional World War II shooters to your fantasy RPGs, but there are some games that break away from the usual and give us something unusual. But good concepts alone don't make a good game. It has to have solid gameplay to go along with it. For example, Resistance: Fall of Man. This game takes place in an alternate 1951 where World War II never happened due to an invasion of an alien race known as the Chimera. Combine that with challenging gameplay and weapons you were not expecting that timeline, and you've got yourself a very good first-person shooter for the PlayStation 3. But enough about that, let's move on to the list. Number 5. Vampire Reign. The concept is this: you play as a member in a group of operatives sent to take down the Nightwalkers. Unfortunately, what it comes down to is a Splinter Cell reject. In other stealth games, you can pick your own path to get from point A to point B without being seen by the enemy, but in this game, you have to go through one correct path in every level to get from point A to point B, or you get your ass handed to you. The regular enemies are ridiculously overpowered. If one of them spots you, they run up to you and kill you in 2 hits! 2 fucking hits! And the bosses? Well, if you're expecting difficult boss battles as opposed to difficult enemies, you're going to be disappointed, as some of the bosses barely drain your life away. The weapons are about as useful as defending yourself with a butter knife, and some of the more powerful weapons, like shotguns, get taken away after each use. Why do developers think that would be a good idea? Taking away a shotgun after having to go back to the piece of shit weapons you were given is just complete bullshit. If you had a choice between this and Splinter Cell, go for Splinter Cell. Number 4. Alone in the Dark. I've already mentioned this game in my rant on disappointing, overhyped games, but I felt it deserved a place on the list. Like I said in my rant, the concept is that Central Park has a secret beneath it, and you play as a paranormal investigator to find out what that secret is. Once again, like I said before, the game is not worth playing to find out what that secret is because of all the glitches and gameplay problems, like, for example, the driving sections. The driving controls suck, and some of the things that can be driven over, like light posts, will act like you're hitting a wall. The enemies can only be killed by fire, which is a problem of its own, but trying to find it becomes boring as hell. Some of the gameplay elements are not so much realistic, but just stupid, like pouring flammable liquid on your gun to create flaming bullets. If someone actually tried that, the gun will blow up in their hands. I did discover that the developers re-released this game for the PlayStation 3 with some of the problems the original game had fixed, but I can't forget the fact that the original game just plain sucked. Number 3. Legendary. The concept of this game is that an art thief has been given the job of stealing the mythical Pandora's box. He was tricked into opening the box, and before you know it, all hell breaks loose. Creatures of mythology like werewolves, griffins, and minotaurs have been unleashed upon the world. The concept alone is cool, but I wish I could say the same for the story, which is just hard to follow. What also makes this a game not worth the wait is the level design. The game takes place in New York and London, but other than the actual settings, there really isn't much difference between the levels. Also, there are things like the bad jumping mechanics and the aggravating recoil of your weapons that makes this a not-so-legendary title. The ending of this game isn't exactly bad, but all I can say about it is that a sequel should be the first thing on the developers' minds. Number 2. You Are Empty. The concept in this one is in 1950s Soviet Russia. A scientist develops a broadcasting technology to spread communism across the world, but results in people being turned into monsters. In the game, he plays an individual that hasn't been affected by the experiment. Once again, a cool concept, but playing the game will make you feel empty. The back of the box says that it has interesting graphics, physics, and AI, but it's just a cover-up on how bad it is. The graphics don't look incredible, the physics are questionable, the voice acting will make your ears bleed, and the enemy AI is some of the most retarded AI I've ever seen in any game. The main character is no better because he moves slowly and can't throw a Molotov more than 2 inches. I don't think any more should be said, so let's move on to the last game. Number 1. Turning Point: Fall of Liberty. Another game I mentioned in my first rant that I felt deserved to be at the top of the list. This game's concept takes place in 1953, where Nazis invade the US and London. In short, an alternate World War II shooter. The weapons are incredibly inaccurate, the enemy and ally AI are stupid, and it has glitches out your ass. This game has one of the coolest concepts out there, but it's clear to me that the developers took more time on the concept than the actual gameplay, and they didn't give a backstory on the main character. Can anyone tell me how an untrained everyday civilian can take down Nazis with grapple moves? I sure the hell can't, because the developers failed to explain how he learned these moves through the game. So that's it for my top 5 bad games with good concepts. If you know of any games of this kind that you think belong in the top 5, post a video response if necessary. So this is Hellbender47, signing out.